Tekedia, Ndubuisi Ekekwe. Our topic today is how can we make Nigeria a $1 trillion economy? And we have this conversation that the Central Bank of Nigeria could make Lagos, or one of the big cities in the country, a blockchain hub. You know, over the last few years, the world has come to experience one of the most potentially destructive technologies in your generation. We've gone through the time of the microprocessor. We've also gone through the time of the steam engine. It is expected that the Bitcoin will have a catalytic impact in the global economy because of the way it can redesign, restructure the architecture upon which trade and commerce industry, how they are being run. The Bitcoin has been recognized as a store of value, just as gold. And whenever there is a turbulence, political or otherwise, in the world, the price has always gone up. A single Bitcoin is roughly about 2 ounces of gold today, trading up to $2,400. One of the reasons is that there is an increasingly level of legitimacy according to Bitcoin. And some governments are becoming increasingly kind of having a tolerance about this currency. You know, the government of China has not necessarily approved it, just like Japan, but they have not necessarily also, you can use it. So, what is this Bitcoin? It is nothing but a cryptocurrency, a new payment system that uses a kind of a new technology they call blockchain. The blockchain is a distributed database that essentially maintains a continuously growing list of records called the blocks. And these blocks are secured from tampering and revision. You can just call it a software platform that makes it possible to store digital assets. It is taking the world by storm. But our conversation today is really not about the Bitcoin. Rather, I am focused on the blockchain. You know, and if the Central Bank of Nigeria or the Bankers Committee of the Federal Republic of Nigeria see how they can work together to bring smart regulations on blockchain and Bitcoin, good things can actually happen in Nigeria. You know, I believe vividly that if Nigeria is known as a center where we have a Bitcoin sandbox, we have a blockchain sandbox. You know, sandboxes are essentially a kind of a dummy system. You use it when you are building software, especially for payment system, that enables you to test things without necessarily taking those things to production or live. So if we have a Bitcoin sandbox and have a blockchain sandbox, there is a potential for us to attract so many companies, institutions, and partners around the world. And we have to build an experimental system across our industrial sectors like banking, insurance, clearing, real estate, and so many other areas where blockchain can have applications. And as we do that, we have to build a strong level of expertise, build strong domain expertise in different areas of blockchain technology so that our young people have the capabilities of supporting this emerging transitional technology called the blockchain beacon. It means that our universities, like federal universities of technology and technology hubs, training institutes can find a way to train these young people so that anyone in Africa or around the world who is looking for experts in this area can come right into Nigeria and pick them up. So if we have a strong smart regulation and we have the expertise and we have the sandboxes making it possible for companies to experiment without necessarily causing so much disruption in the economy, Nigeria will become a hub for new insurance, new banking, and also everything new. Because You could see a scenario where companies that are stifled through regulations in these areas can have a lab in Nigeria just to take advantage of the opportunities inherent available in that country. Because this is a digital product, this is a digital technology, this is a digital tool. The issue that we have studied in the old, in classical economics and old economics of the factors of production, land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, may not necessarily exist here because it is knowledge driven at the digital domain. So you can open this business in Nigeria and you can be running it in Singapore. The most important thing is that this technology is in a place where the laws of the land actually recognize it. And I am hoping that Nigeria could become that center of excellence for blockchain. It could be a blockchain valley, a very great place where people come to experiment. I am seeing a new future, a new dawn that blockchain will power in the world. I'm believing that in very few years, we may not even need to log into our Facebook and Google because blockchain will make it possible for us to have the ability to authenticate who we are without necessarily using passwords. The good news is this: if we can do that using blockchain, we will essentially rewire, rewrite, rebuild the architecture of the internet so that the hackers, the bad people, they increasingly find it difficult to cause trouble. This is what the future presents to us. And there is an opportunity for Nigeria to be a leading institution, a leading country that will drive the change at the global arena. You know, we have a very great city that can make this thing happen. And I'm confident that if we can say, let's take Lagos. Lagos has everything. It has a population enough for people to have a critical mass for any experiment. It also has a very upward moving governance system. The economy of Lagos is one of the largest economies in Africa. In short, if Lagos should have been a country, it would be one of, if not the top six economies in Africa. So Lagos has it, and we can say make Lagos a Beacon Valley, or you could call it a blockchain hub, anything you want to call it. But the key thing here is this: if we dedicate and designate Lagos, and they bring smart regulations, our young people will show the world that we can do it. And I'm confident that we can do this. And if we do this, there are going to be huge benefits to the good people of Nigeria. We will become the hub for future banking and insurance. We will become the hub for future clearing services. We will become the hub for anything that is driven by blockchain. In short, the future of education can actually be redesigned by blockchain. And you know what? The Central Bank of Nigeria will become a very vital central bank in the community of nations. Become one of the most respected central banks because we will be making regulations. We will be shaping the future and evolution of new technologies. We will be helping to pioneer new processes in different industrial sectors in the world. And any central bank that is doing that will certainly be taken very, very seriously. And I'm confident that if we do this thing, Nigeria can see technology help us rebuild, redesign, and change us to the extent that we may not necessarily be thinking about. It is going to happen, and I know it will happen if we do it. That $1 trillion economy bring a lot of big cake for everyone to share. Because when the economy grows, companies grow. When companies grow, families actually do well because people have jobs and everyone is happy. But policies we make today, especially 21st century technology, is something I believe is going to make it critical. And I'm asking the Central Bank of Nigeria, the bankers community, to set up immediately a stakeholder forum to study how Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, one of those cities, can be turned into a blockchain valley, or Bitcoin, anything we want to call it, so that we can use it as a sandbox to experiment and now use it to drive and position our country at the forefront of digital revolution. Whether we like it or not, blockchain is going to have a significant impact in the way we live. In short, I do believe vividly that the next two generations of iPhone it is going to be powered underneath by blockchain. They may even tell you that you don't have to have a username or password because blockchain is going to make it possible. I also see the future. In the next few years, the payment system from Visa and MasterCard are going to be structured that you don't have to put a PIN number. If Nigeria stays ahead, those things could be done in our country with the right policy and the right people. I'm Ndubuisi Ekekwe. You are listening